The laughter at the party was loud enough to drown my thoughts, but not my shame. I stood there holding a small glass of water, pretending to smile while my son's wife, Emily, told the guests a story that had everyone laughing. Everyone but me. And then he used the wrong remote and turned off the TV instead of the fan, she said, clutching her wine glass. Bless him, he's still learning how technology works. The crowd chuckled. My son Daniel didn't stop her. He laughed too. The joke was about me. I forced a smile and looked down. Maybe it would have been harmless if it was just once, but she had made these little digs all evening. Every time someone came near, she found a way to make me look like an old fool. He forgets things sometimes, she said once. He's not used to modern life, she added later. To them, I was just the outdated old man who lived in their house. But what Emily didn't know is this. That house was still mine. Hook 1. But what if the house they mocked him in was the key to his quiet revenge? My name is Edward Miller, 71 years old, a retired school teacher and a widower of 10 years. After my wife passed, I sold our small home and moved in with Daniel and his wife to be close to family. Daniel had insisted it would be easier that way. Dad, don't live alone, he'd said. We'll make sure you're comfortable. I believed him. I even used the money from selling my house to buy a new one for them. I put it under my name, planning to gift it to Daniel later when I was gone. I thought that was what a good father does. But lately, I felt like a guest overstaying his welcome. Emily would sigh whenever I asked for help with my phone. She rearranged the living room and told me not to touch anything. Once she even said, this house would look so much better if it wasn't filled with old furniture. She meant my furniture. I stayed quiet because Daniel seemed happy and I didn't want to cause trouble. But that party night, something broke. After her last joke, I went to the kitchen to get air. Emily followed. Having fun? She asked, her voice sweet poison. I nodded. She leaned close. You're lucky we let you stay here. Most people put old folks in homes. I looked at her. Emily, this is my house. She laughed. Not for long. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called a real estate agent. Quietly listed the house. Told no one. Offers came fast. I accepted one. 2 weeks later, at dinner, I told them. The house is sold. Emily's face went pale. You sold it. Daniel stepped forward. Dad, what are you talking about? You can't just. I can, I said quietly. It was under my name. I bought it. I paid for it. You two never even looked at the papers. Daniel was speechless. Emily's mouth opened and closed like she was gasping for air. Dad, Daniel finally said. Where will we go? What are we supposed to do? You can stay for 2 more weeks, I said. After that, the new owners will move in. Emily's eyes flashed with anger. This is insane. You can't do this to your own son. I looked her straight in the eye. No, Emily, you did this to yourself. Hook 2. Want to know how one old man's decision left his ungrateful family homeless? That evening, I packed a small bag and left before they woke up. I moved into a quiet retirement cottage near the seaside, peaceful, bright, and full of kind people who said good morning without judgment. Daniel called a few times. I answered once. Dad, I'm sorry, he said, his voice breaking. Emily realizes she went too far. We were just thoughtless. I sighed. Son, I love you, but respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn. You let her treat me like a burden in my own home. I know, he whispered. I'll make it right. I hope you do, I said. For your sake, not mine. Months passed. I heard they'd rented a small apartment across town. Emily had stopped speaking to me entirely, which didn't bother me much. Sometimes I sit on my porch watching the ocean waves roll in. I think about that night at the party, the laughter, the sting of embarrassment, and I smile because that was the night I stopped being silent. That was the night I remembered who I was. And that was the night she lost the house I built with love. Never mistake kindness for weakness. A humble man's silence isn't surrender, it's patience. And when that patience ends, the world learns the power of quiet revenge.